Hello, and welcome to today's Asian Holiday Show, where we will discuss Asian cultures and traditions that most of us do not experience in our daily lives in this country. I'm your host, Jacob Throw. Today we have two guests here with me, Leslie Huang and Azusa Mori. Leslie is a senior from China, Azusa is an exchange student from Japan. They're here to introduce each of their culture's most important holidays. Welcome.
Hi, Jacob.
What holidays have you come here to discuss for us?
The biggest and then most like everyone knows about is the New Year in China. New Year is a special 10 days period that's recorded by the Chinese lunar calendar. So it's really peculiar in China.
So when does it happen?
Usually I would say in early February or in the late January. But you have to check with the lunar calendar because it changes every year.
Because the calendar's not the same or what?
In the Asian time, people don't have the clock, so they observe the activity of the moon, of the whole universe, and then approximate the time.
Interesting. So what do you do over these 10 days?
China have people take a break of 10 days, so you don't need to work, and then a lot of people get a lot of food from supermarket to prepare for the big dinners or lunches. And then children will be very excited for this break because they don't need to go to school, and then they're expecting to get a lot of red envelopes, the extra money from their parents, from their close relatives.
So what's exciting about red envelopes?
For sure it has money, and then if you're really close with the person who gave you the red envelope, then he gave you a lot for you to buy like the study supplies, food, ice creams. And then there's some special meaning in the red envelope. In the Asian time, people say for those children, they want you to grow up so that the red envelope will help you avoid from the bad things, bad fortunes.
So is there something written on the envelope that wards off these evil spirits, or is there?
The envelope is red, and then red is supposed to be very prosperous, and then you put red envelope below your pillow, so that you keep the bad things behind.
So do you have any special customs besides just eating food? Do you do anything in particular, or?
People also buy a lot of fireworks, and then firecrackers. They children play fireworks at night with their friends, and then the loud sound also means to get away from the bad things.
So it's still warding off evil spirits. That's what the significance of the firecrackers is.
Yeah.
And is there any special significance of the fireworks, or is it just for the show of it all?
Usually those fireworks, you can only see this much during this special holiday break. And then the government has some rules that people cannot buy or sell these things during other days. So it's special occasions, special fireworks, and then people buy a lot of them. And then in the morning when I woke up, I see there are like red carpets, but it's made of the waste of those firecrackers. And you walk on them, they make noises. So it's really fun.
Sounds like a good time.
And people also write chunlians. That's also a traditional thing in China. Chunlian is composed of two parallel paper rolls, and then the things you wrote on it is by calligraphy, and then what you wrote is the Asian classical Chinese paragraphs, usually in very succinct languages, usually from 5 to 10 words. But it means something good for your family, for your health, like wish you good luck, wish you good health and fortune in the coming year.
So
and then people stick it on the door.
So what does Chunlian mean?
Chunlian means the words you wrote on the classical Chinese words you wrote on the parallel rows, paper rolls.
So is there like special phrases that you write, or is it just all poetry, or is it?
Yeah, it's poetry, and then you have to match the words from one to one.
So like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, or is it just you read it down?
The right row paper roll and then the left paper roll are of the same length, and then the things they describe must be relevant, and then tell you some philosophy. So it's not random things.
So do you read the one all the way on the right and then the one on the left, or do you go like back and forth?
The whole thing on one side and the other thing on the other side.
Interesting.
And then there's one more thing that I usually do is that at the eve of Chinese New Year, I will go to Asian temple in China with my family. A lot of people go there, and then they burn joss sticks for good fortune in the coming year.
Sounds interesting. I guess we'll have to look for it next year. So Izuzo, what have you come in to tell us about?
So, my home country, Japan, we have a special festival. It's called Coming of Age Ceremony. So so the 20 years old is very, very big in Japan, because so when we turn 20 years old, we can start drinking, we can start smoking, we can start we can get a vote, we can get the right to vote. So the turning 20 is a big step to be an adult. So we celebrate we celebrate the 20 years old. So in January, I think the first week of first Monday of January.
Mm-hmm.
So all students, all the people who are just turned 20, we go back to our own home, like our home city, and then we wear a kimono, which is a traditional Japanese the clothes. And we go to the city hall, and then each city will host a really big ceremony. So we can see a lot of like old friends from junior high school, elementary school, and sometimes high school, and we can take a lot of pictures. We can say, "Oh my God, hello, how are you?" It's like a really, really big event. And then after the ceremony, a lot of relatives get together, and then we celebrate the coming of age ceremony at home. And then we have a lot of food, and then relatives and parents give us a lot of money, and then sometimes give me a really fancy present, because it's the big step to be an adult. So give me a watch or a wallet, a really fancy bag and stuff. And then after that dinner, each junior high school, we have a classroom which have usually 40 students in each classroom. Then we will have a party afterward, after the dinner. We will get to the bar, or because we can drink legally. So we can just get together and then talk about a lot of stuff that we missed, while we were away, we were apart. So which is and then we also can see a homeroom teacher, which is really, really important for us. So it's a really a nice reunion.
So that sounds like a good time to turn 20, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll come back and we'll be talking about foods. Welcome back. So Leslie, Izuzo, please tell us about your culture's traditional foods.
I will first introduce you guys to the most famous one, rice dumpling. It looks like a triangular rice or sometimes pork stuffed dumpling. It's to memorize the man of great learning in the Asian China. His name is Qu Yuan. He committed suicide because the emperor at that time did not agree with him about how to change the politics in China. So he wants to show his ambition by just throwing himself into the river. And then the local people really likes him, so they don't want the fish in the ocean, in the river, to eat his body. So they created this special rice dumpling, and then they throw it to the river. So they hope his body is still keep complete.
So we eat these in honor of this guy who...
Yeah.
Interesting.
Secondly, I have brought dumplings. Dumplings, we also eat it on the New Year. it's stuffed with different kind of meat or vegetables. It's really delicious, and then it's quite easy to make those. So everyone
try
can have
this?
a bite.
Thank you.
So what would we have? So these are, what's inside these?
What do you think?
Meats of some sort.
Pork, maybe?
Pork, chicken, and then one kind of fungus,
Like a mushroom.
like a mushroom, Chinese mushroom.
Interesting.
No.
Well, it's good.
You like it?
Yeah, I do.
So we have dumplings and rice dumplings.
Yeah, this is dumpling.
Mhm.
And then the one we memorized Chuan is called rice dumpling.
So is it the same thing, only it's stuffed with rice, or is it?
They have different shapes. Like this one is oval. And then you usually press on the rim. So this rim has your fingerprints. And then the rice dumpling, it's also wrapped by the leaves, lotus leaf. And then you steam it. So it's really soft and sticky inside.
So I'm guessing it's bigger than these, or?
Yeah, it's a lot bigger than this. You can eat it for, like I eat it for breakfast.
That's good. Zuza, what about you? What?
So at the dinner, we usually eat sushi. Well, actually, sushi is not like a casual food in Japan. It's really fancy, special food in Japan because it's very expensive, and also, fish always should be fresh. And then,
Is it like the stuff we hear? Do you hear like California rolls and?
California River is pretty much created by American people, so it's completely not Japanese style sushi. But also at the same time, my mom cooks a lot of like a fish meal. Well, because in Japan we eat a lot of fish, and fish is one of the really like expensive, fancy, special meal. So we eat a lot of like fish at the dinner.
What kind of fish? Like salmon, tuna? And
Yeah, salmon, tuna. Yeah, salmon, tuna is very popular. Yeah.
So like the sushi that you have do we have it here, or do we have is all the stuff that we eat over here different from what you have?
It's a bit different. Well, I think it depends on the families, but my family loves like we create the sushi. So there's a really like a big rice bowl, and then there's a seaweed. So we take the seaweed and then we put a rice and then put some like a topping, like a salmon, like a cucumber, and then roll it and then eat it. So just like kind of like a casual, like a sushi party kind of stuff.
Okay, well, sounds good, and I guess we'll have to try that the next time we're in the grocery store. All right, so I hope that you've enjoyed this little presentation on Asian cultures. My name is Jacob Throw, and for Azusa and Leslie, have a good night.